rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754.
Hey, welcome, folks, to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. I'm joined today with my co-host, Oklahoma Brian, and we have Chip Chirimbes in the studio with us. Going to share some stories, some picks, things about the show, things about making money on the thing. And Brian, you were yesterday. I guess you were in school. So let's recap really quickly what we gave out. I think we ended up net one winner. I did have the Clippers plus 5.5. Florida Rick had Denver -4, but we lost on the under in Boston. I think you sent in, or somebody sent in, Oklahoma State plus 2.5. That loses, but we hit with, gosh, I can't remember. We had a 4-3 day.
So Oklahoma came back and won that game.
Yeah.
Because, I just kept watching. I saw the Cowboys are up the whole time. I didn't get the final, and I just got it from you right now.
Well, Brian was at the game. Every game you go to, we lose, brother.
Hey, first of all, not true. I wasn't at the game. I was teaching a class last night, and I found out when I got home that you guys gave out Oklahoma State, and I asked, my first question to Rick was, "Do you realize they're playing with 6 guys?" And I guess I don't know. I would think that would be a pretty big factor. They had a guy that played 40 minutes last night, a guy that played 37, a guy that played 35. They literally played the game with 6 guys last night. They had to kick 3 guys off the team. They had an open tryout with the best intramural players on campus to see if they could make the team. This is a team in total disarray, and they actually played really well, but they got worn down at the end. They were just gassed. And Oklahoma actually scored the last 10 points of the game to win by 9.
Maybe we should have just taken him in the first half. That would have been the
there.
Play.
You go.
Right? But
Yeah.
what was that crack that Rick made on the thing about Bedlam? You were in some game is it a Bedlam game or what are they?
That's what they call. Yeah, that's the name of the rivalry.
Series.
Yeah, well, I just in general, the whole site, it doesn't matter the sport. It's just Bedlam. So football, baseball, basketball. But yeah, no, I wasn't at the game. I would have loved to have been at the game, but I had to teach last night. So. Oh,
because Rick said you came to the game. We thought you were teaching, so you might have to get a note from the coach. But
yeah.
And anyways, folks, we'll be right back. We got to take a small break. Fifth Street Sports back in 3 minutes.
If this were just any door, and this were just any ignition, connected to just any transmission, in just any vehicle, then perhaps it would be okay to buy it from just anyone. But this is not just any car. It's a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Every detail has been inspected and road tested by highly skilled Mercedes-Benz technicians, and it's all backed by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years. Which makes the decision of where to buy one simple. Your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. The certified pre-owned sales event going on now through February 28th. Come in today and we'll help cover your first month's payment. Offer available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Because in the end, it's absolute confidence in genuine Mercedes-Benz parts, or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned, or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on credit towards your first month's payment and certified pre-owned warranties.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first-class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
All right, folks, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Oklahoma Brian, and we got Chip Chirimbes in the house. By the way, we are on Sports Byline USA Radio Network on the American Forces Network. You can catch us on iHeartRadio. We stream live on YouTube 1 to 2 every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific. We also stream on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. All right, so Brian, Chip hasn't been in since we talked about the NFL weekend games. So now, because we've discussed it with Rick and Brian, how was your NFL weekend, Chip?
Well, I split out with my top games. I had New England again. I had them the previous week as a top release, and I did have New Orleans, and that a loss is a loss. I mean, you just in this business you have to accept it, and they may have ended up with a push, but I took the L on that game.
Damn, you and I think half the country, or 55%
the
of the
action
country.
was pretty well split on that. So half the people are not too happy, and the other half are gleeful, I guess.
But you're not one of the guys that's suing the NFL, I hope.
No, do you think they're going to? Excuse me. Do you think they're going to make any changes, Brian?
Yeah, I think that they probably will do something, and I fear that they will. My biggest fear, to be honest, is that they're going to institute some kind of replay with the pass interference, and I think that would be a huge mistake.
Yeah, well, Elway said it would just slow down the game too much. He says he's totally against it. He goes, that's just it's the rub of the green. In other words, you just have to play through it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'd take it a step further. I think that the college rule with the 15 yards and the pass interference is actually the way to go. I hate NFL system of pass interference where you can award 50 yards on a borderline play.
It's too severe. You're right about that. And what if the NFL comes out and they fine the Rams defensive back for targeting? I mean, they could, right? I mean, they could fine them for targeting, even though there was no call. They've done it before where there was no call, and they fine people for targeting. But do you think they would do that?
That's an interesting political move because it won't have anything to do with whether it's the right or wrong thing to do. They're probably going to make a calculation on, does this make the situation worse for us? Because essentially you're drawing more attention to the horrendous call. I don't know. That's a really good question. I haven't heard anyone mention that yet.
I'm thinking the 15-yard penalty is the way to go, but if there's a non-call, there's a non-call. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
There has to be a call has to be made for them to make a decision that it's not a penalty or is a penalty.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I like the ultimate what if scenario I've always thought is, I don't think we're anywhere close to ever having this happen in football. Other sports, yes, but what if it was somehow exposed that the referee had been compromised and was Granted, it probably would take months of investigation, to prove that you couldn't figure it out within 20 or 48 hours. But
the integrity of the league would be at stake for sure. I mean, especially now with the open book all around the country being able to play sports betting. I mean, that would be horrendous. That would really set the league and our industry back, I'd say.
But Brian, like no pun intended, but I'm going to challenge you on this because I believe that to me, each team should be awarded one. Let's say it's an orange flag, one pass interference challenge flag in each half. It's just one. We're not going to challenge all. You can throw it, keep it in your pocket if it's not that severe in the game, but you should be awarded one. So no pun intended, but I'm going to challenge you on the challenge flag.
You know what? I tell you, they can always the referees can always manipulate that by calling defensive holding instead of interference. I mean, it's impossible to review a holding call. I mean, we can't do that for 22 players on the field on each play. But the pass interference is more viable, and I wonder if it's going to come to that. I really do. Over this play, I don't think so.
I hope not.
I don't think so. I hope not as well.
If they still had NFL Europe, they could do a test market analysis on it and see how it goes there, but that's out the window.
The CFL has a 15-yard penalty on the pass interference, which is more palatable. I mean, how many times you see, like you said, a 60-yard pass with 3 seconds to go, and all of a sudden they're on the 2-yard line. We've seen it happen, and it's just I don't know if it's really fair.
Yeah, and I also think the referees know how severe the penalty is, and I think that they're hesitant to throw a flag sometimes. I tell you, when you rarely ever see a flag, even if there is legitimate pass interference, is on Hail Marys, right? Guys are constantly grabbing on Hail Marys. You can call it pass interference on probably 30-40% of Hail Marys, but they know it's a 50-yard penalty, so they don't do it.
I think they hesitate to call it to it in the final moments of championship games, because if you remember the Super Bowl in New Orleans where the Ravens and the Niners had the ball on the final play, and whoever Kaepernick passed to was totally mugged in the end zone, if you recall, and there was no flag there, and the game ended.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you know what I've noticed though, Brian? They've actually thrown the flag a lot of times lately when the pass was actually uncatchable.
Right.
And they still throw the flag. Wasn't that a rule that if the pass was uncatchable, that the flag did not get held up?
Supposed to.
In theory, it's supposed to be, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But if they're ever going to go back to like reviews, I have one pet peeve in baseball. I think that if they go back to reviews, they should give the pitcher for the Brewers. I think it was Gallardo or something like that, when he threw a perfect game and on the last out, the umpire called the runner safe and he was clearly out and he apologized to him and I ruined your perfect game. It was on the last out of the game. Then, of course, the next guy gets up and grounded out. So he was actually really noted as the only guy that's ever thrown 28 outs of perfect baseball because he actually had 28 outs, But they should review. I mean, that guy's they were going to win the game regardless, but it actually cost that pitcher a perfect game.
I tell you, he never recovered from that. He was out of baseball within 2 years.
Yep. He was a great pitcher, and he never got over it.
Yep.
It just hurt him so bad that the referee the next day actually called him and apologized. Said, "I'm sorry. You should be in the history books. I cost you a perfect game. It was a terrible call."
Wow.
How did he anticipate that? I mean, he had to be anticipating the umpire in that situation because it wasn't close. No, it wasn't close.
It wasn't even really close. How could you do that to the guy? You got to be kidding me. And then, but a year later or 2 years later with the instant replay, he gets his perfect game.
There you go.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, baseball. I think at some point we're going to see something like you have in tennis or now in soccer. With the goal line, you're going to see a computerized strike zone within 5 or 10 years. I think. I'm not sure if it's a good thing, but I think that's where we're headed. But football will always need humans to. Computers can't call holding penalties. I wouldn't think. I think we're always football. I think, and that's what makes sports great is that human element. The fact that you've got humans officiating the game, and they make mistakes just like players do. I kind of think that's what I appeal.
Like somebody had mentioned. Well, what are you going to do in Kansas City? On the biggest play of the game, what ended up would have been the biggest play of the game, a defensive end lined up offside. Kansas City intercepts the ball, the game's over. instead of a first down, and the Patriots go on and take care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like the Patriots always seem to be on the benefiting side of those breaks.
And
I don't know.
It doesn't seem like they're trying to give them any breaks either, though.
I know.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, well now here's a line for you. This is the first year in the Super Bowl that other states in the country are actually taking action on it. So we got about 40 seconds, but you can answer this one, Brian. Usually, they've only calculated the handle in Nevada, and I think they'd handle $80 to $100 million on the Super Bowl statewide for the 2 weeks. Okay, with all the states being in play this year, New Jersey included, you think the handle will hit $2 billion?
I would need about 20 minutes and a spreadsheet to answer that, but I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it hits $2 billion. I know people think I'm nuts, but wait till you see the money that's going to pour in New Jersey, especially if they're clever enough with their props. But folks, we got to take a time out. When we come back, it's Oklahoma Brian and Chip Chirimbes on 5th Street Sports. Back in just 3 minutes.
Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Hi, folks. 5th Street Sports on Sports Byline USA Radio Network. We also are streaming on iHeartRadio, Facebook.com/5th Street Sports Talk. And don't forget the American Forces Network. I'm Frank Perez, joined with Oklahoma Brian and Chip Chirimbes today on 5th Street. You know, hey, Brian, I don't know if you really realize this, but I'm from Vegas. You know, we just got word, I believe, that Vegas is once again losing another one of our Hall of Fame sportsbook directors. I think just goes to show you how big it is across the country and how much they're paying people to go somewhere else, that we're losing another Hall of Famer. I think Chip mentioned, what is it, Jimmy Vaccaro? Where's he going?
From what I understand, Jimmy's going back to Pittsburgh to help set up the sportsbook operation. I guess they have a casino there in Pennsylvania because they've had the approved game. I haven't spoken to Jimmy, and I was hoping to go down there at least to say goodbye to him. But you know, a lot of these guys out here that have been working on the credible side of the business are some used to go to Costa Rica and go offshore and open up books, but now they'll be able to stay stateside and enhance the industry, because who are you going to hire? You're going to hire people that know what the heck they're doing. These people have been running it here. FanDuel tried doing it in New Jersey, running their own contests, and they ran into complications. They just don't have the sophistication of Las Vegas or Nevada as of yet.
Yeah. Well, I got a question, since you mentioned that, Chip. I've always wondered, with guys like Jimmy Vaccaro, a handful of guys that are household names, even people that don't work in this industry would recognize that name, Jimmy Vaccaro. In a typical week, how hands-on is he really in running the book, and how much is he just kind of the figurehead mascot spokesperson for the operation?
Okay, I'll tell you a true story at a game when he was running the Mirage, and I was sitting there talking to him at halftime, and they put up a line for the halftime, and the halftime was kicking off, and there were a whole bunch of people in line that didn't get their action down. And he walked up and stood behind the last guy, and he told everybody in front of him that even though the second half was starting, he would honor their bets and let them get in. And don't you know, this is God's honest truth, the opening kickoff in the second half was run back for a touchdown, and he let those people make their second half bets anyway. And there's a true bookmaker, and he said it was my fault and responsibility because I should have opened up more stations so that we could have handled all of these people's action before the kickoff. He says it's my fault, it's not their fault, and he let them make their bet. And I'm sure they took the team that scored the touchdown, and they got beat, by the way. So it's I remember days when we used to be able to get the Boston Celtic game on the radio. It started at 7 o'clock. We were in Connecticut, and the bookmaker would take the action till 7:30. Well, if you're getting 8 points and Celtics are down 12, you think you're in, and you're past posting. Don't ever do it. It doesn't work because the Celtics will come back and win anyway.
But Jimmy Vaccaro's Brian, Jimmy Vaccaro's one of the last of the old school bookmakers. Remember, in baseball, I grew up here in Vegas when guys used to book also over the phone. They had one baseball rule called tie one. That means like when if the Dodger game started, as long as the score was tied at the end of the first inning, you could get action down.
Yeah. We could do an entire week of content on old days of past posting, whether it's horses or baseball or whatever. But in the early days, not that long ago, in the early days of offshore betting, like I'm thinking, like 1999, 2000, etc. It was a real problem for sports books because baseball games, there wasn't a lot of consistency when baseball games would start. It was really whenever a home plate umpire could get the show going. So it might be 7:02 Eastern, it might be 7:04 Eastern. There's a lot of variety, and there are a lot of sports books, that would have it open maybe till 7:05, and a lot of stuff could happen in 2 or 3 minutes. And there was actually a sports book, not making this up, called The Dunes. I don't know if anybody will remember it. And it was run by this guy named Jason. He's probably passed away about 5-10 years ago. But I'm convinced the whole premise of this book was to trade on other people's past posts, because he would trade people throughout the game. Like there'd be 2 outs in the first inning. We'd get to the to the bottom of the first, top of the second, and he would trade with people. And I'm pretty sure he was basically, it was like a fencing operation for past posted games. He was attempting to take the value of people that had past posted but didn't have the guts to hold on to the play. And that was kind of, that was a weird business model that we'll probably never see again.
Well, they have something now called prop swap, or if you have a bet, a future bet that you want to sell, or I don't know how it's going,
sure.
But Somebody's making money.
This I guess the same idea, except for this was like a super high speed,
Right.
you know, in the moment. But I guess kind of the same concept as that prop swap. Yeah.
The Dunes, by the way, was where we now have the Bellagio.
Yeah.
And they had that great.
No, I'm talking about an
different?
online sport. This is
okay.
a Costa Rica sports.
Okay.
Called the Dunes. Yeah.
I actually dealt poker at the Dunes.
Well, the reason why he brought up memories because when I used to do my A-Play show out in New York City in 1986 and 84, the Dunes was one of my sponsors. And we used to run a contest and prizes where they'd go out and the Dunes would fly them out and put them up. And they had the the Hall of Fame of Boxing in there for a while, too, and a few other things going on.
But now this was before your time, Brian. But did you know that at Caesar's Palace for about 15 years, you could walk into Caesar's Palace and as you came through the front door, you shook hands with Joe Louis? Yeah, he was.
I've heard those stories.
He was like the Walmart greeter, like the greeter at Walmart, but it was Joe Louis, and it was so sad because he was such a good guy that at the end of his life, because like we all do, mismanagement. Like my brother used to have a great acronym for those kind of people. It's called GMOF, Gross Mismanagement of Funds. So when we all GMOF, he ended up being a greeter.
Didn't the IRS bury him too after he did all those fights? So.
Yeah.
That concept though of Joe Louis, it's funny you mentioned that because the Super Bowl parties in Vegas are famous for booking those kind of celebrities that are down on their luck. You frequently will see, like last year, I think someone had Stormy Daniels as their VIP guest, and Pete Rose. There's lots of kind of B-level celebrities that kind of down on their luck will be the headliner at a lot of the Vegas Super Bowl parties.
Well, we had David Humm doing a few of them before he passed, and he's a Vegas guy, and a few others.
He went to my high school. Yeah. He graduated.
Is that right?
Yeah, he graduated Gorman.
Chip, now do you typically watch the Super Bowl at home, or do you go to a party?
I've been invited to some people's houses. I know I watched I watched one at Wayne's house, at Mr. Wayne Root's house, when we both had New England when
they came back
when Butler came and intercepted the ball. They came back against Atlanta. But I don't get involved in like going to the sports books, or I'm usually going to be watching it at home or a friend's house, and we'll gather and watch it. Because you know what, Brian, I'm still working Super Bowl Sunday. We got to post basketball games that day, and along with college and pro. So. We get up and I go to work just like any other normal day, and then usually I'll go to someone's house.
But Brian, speaking of Super Bowl parties, you never quite answered my question the other day when you were on. That I know you enjoy Super Bowl parties, especially out here in Vegas. Now, in the case of a tie, or if it's close, if the location's close, what's your tiebreaker? Is it the food or the or the big screen TVs? Where do you lean towards?
Oh, it's 100% the food, but you never really know. It's kind of like a blind date. You're not really sure. Like I said the other day, like you don't really know if you're in the varsity or the JV party oftentimes because the casinos have different stratas of customer, and you just don't know. You're like, do they really like me, or am I just? It's kind of like in Animal House. Remember the couch with the guys that were rushing that they didn't quite want? They kind of put them off in the corner. Like I swear, Super Bowl parties at casinos there is that couch, literally. But I'll tell you a funny story before we get to the break, and then if we have time, I'll follow through on a even better story. Back in the really early, like right when the Red Rock opened, thinking what year would that have been? Early 2000s, when we were just, we had no money or not much money, and we were really wanted to go to to see the game at the Red Rock, but the seats at the time, like you couldn't get one unless you were really, really, and you couldn't. It wasn't just being a big bettor. The casino had to really value you as a customer. But it's kind of funny. We went home and we printed. This is like in the early. We basically made these signs with the Red Rock logo and said reserved for, and we made up some kind of random name, and we stuck them on like 6 or 8 seats of the best seats at the Red Rock, And I swear to God, like the management didn't know. Like they didn't know who put it there, and they left it there. And we showed up, and those seats were there for us. So I'm not sure if that would work nowadays, but it worked.
What do you mean like that would work for Chip? Chip has actually snuck into the actual Super Bowls. Chip, like sneaking into the Super Bowl parties like kids play for you, right?
Well,
that's right.
Listen, bribery is the way to go everywhere. So somebody could get greased and you could have that seat.
But here's a guy that has snuck into the live Super Bowl. You think a Super Bowl party's like that's like nothing?
Yeah. We've snuck into a number of Super Bowl parties at the Super Bowl event. The owners' party they had, and the venue come in. I mean, sneaking in through kitchens and back doors and bribing policemen to open the door and let you in. I've done that.
That relationship with the Red Rock would go very south, though. About 10 years later. Yeah. I actually got kicked out of a Super Bowl party, if there is such a thing, and never allowed to return. If we have time, I'll tell that story after the break.
All right, folks, we've got to take a break. Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA Radio Network. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to have some picks.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Attention business owners. Now is the perfect time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. We can give you packages with up to 90 great channels and save your business a ton of cash. And if you call right now, you can learn how to get free equipment and free installation. Now you have choices. It's time to start saving money on your cable TV bill for your business. And call today and get 90 channels plus free equipment and free installation. Smart business owners like you all across the country are consolidating and saving money on their cable TV, internet, and phone service for their business. So now's the perfect time. This may be a limited time offer to the first 100 people that call right now. So please save money and call now.
800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. 800-470-7113. That's 800-470-7113.
All right, folks, we're back. Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline USA Radio Network, American Forces Network. We stream on iHeart. We stream on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. I don't think we stream on Twitter, but we're on it. Anyways, I got Oklahoma Brian and Chip Chirimbes. This is usually the third segment where we finish telling some stories, but then we also give picks. Now, Brian, I know that you would be very proud of me because what I'm about to put on, I'm going to open up a new little segment that I'm going to surprise you guys with because I've been doing pretty good. But you would be proud of me because I have actually spied on and gotten access to some of the sharpest accounts. I'm actually, Andrew, why don't you put up this new thing? I'm gonna put it up as long as I can have access. It won't probably last too long. I'm gonna call it Frankie's Corner. There's my picks, okay? These are from really sharp betting accounts that I actually have access to now for a while. Sometimes, they don't last that long. Game 644, San Antonio under 135.5. 680, Greensboro under 167.5. 702, Murray State under 157.5. And in MMA, this is a unit and a half play. Actually, two of the sharpest MMA guys matched on this one. So I'm gonna bet a time and a half what I usually bet on this. I'm gonna give these out as long as before they kick me out or find out. You know what I mean?
That San Antonio is a college game.
Yeah, it's college San Antonio. So there it is. It's Frankie's Corner. Now this is right up your alley, Brian. And I was actually able to go into a covert operation and get these. So we'll see how they go.
I've never seen UT's out of San Antonio. That did confuse me as well. Interesting. I guess, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully the person that owns those plays doesn't watch our show or listen to our show.
I don't think that,
just while we're on it, have you been following the story with Murray State and that they have a guard, shooting guard. I guess he's kind of a combo guard named Jay Morant. Have you guys been following the story of this guy? This is one of the most amazing things in basketball in a long time. He was not heavily recruited. In fact, I think he only had just a few offers. Murray State was one of them. And which
is that even an offer?
Is that even an offer? So the crazy thing is, a buddy of mine calls me in October, and a mutual friend of ours is a coach at a school that plays Murray State in a secret scrimmage, and he says, "You're not going to believe this guy. They have this guy that's going to be a lottery pick." And I said, "Man, who?" I looked at the roster, looked at all the preview magazines. I couldn't find anything, and I just thought maybe this guy, it was a little over embellishment. This guy had lost his mind. So fast forward, now we're in January, and if you Google this guy's name, his name's Jay Morant, G.A. Morant. He's being talked about as possibly as high as the second highest pick in the draft. And in October, when ESPN put up their top 60 college prospects, he wasn't even on the list. So that's completely unheard of in basketball. Maybe it can happen in football where a guy comes from out of nowhere. But in basketball, for a guy to be a completely unknown guy to being a potential lottery pick is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. And the crazy thing is, the guy that will go number one, Zion Williamson from Duke, they're from the same hometown. They played on the same AAU team, these two guys. So crazy story. And they're having an incredible year. Probably going to be one of the real, Cinderella
dark horses,
dark horse teams in the tournament for people to have going deeper to their brackets.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing, Brian. We're going to keep, that's like breaking news here for us because we have no idea. But what I'm going to say is, okay, so Chip, now lately, I remember just before Christmas, you in Vegas Insider, it was $100 units. You were up 2,700.
Right.
You were up to 2,700, but you've been running a little choppy.
Very spotty. As a matter of fact, Christmas Day, I went 0 for 3. I was only going to post one game, and I ruined a lot of people's Christmas, I guess, with the basketball game. I think the Celtics and the Sixers played. I had the wrong side. But since then, it's been very spotty, even to the point of where if I lose 2 days in a row, like the other day I went 0 for 3, I just take the next day off completely and clear my head and let it settle, and not otherwise you might find yourself chasing teams or falling into traps and you're not thinking clearly. Well, I got beat with this team. Do I come back with them? So I just take a day or two off. And, yesterday I didn't have anything in the pros, and today I pass in the pros, but I have 3 games in colleges. So
no, that's smart. That's what a lot of sharp poker players do. When they take some, like a week of bad beats, they just take some time off. Clear their head. All right, so what do you got for the listeners and the viewers today?
Well, there's a great game out of the Big Ten today. Michigan State, who's won 12 in a row, is going to Iowa, and I think they're 5.5 now. And Michigan State, of course, number 4 ranked, number 6 ranked in the country, and Iowa, I think, is somewhere around number 10. But Iowa is also 14-3. Michigan State is like 15-2, somewhere along those lines. And I just think that Iowa, who hasn't played all that well against the Spartans, is my side here tonight. And I think they've lost 17 out of 20 to this team. But they're here at home, and they're hosting Michigan State tonight, and I like Iowa in the game.
All right, but you got 3 picks.
I do. I have 2 other plays.
I like the play, by the way. I like the play. You're getting good value. There was a lot of sharp money early this morning, laying 4 on Michigan State, but at 5.5. You're getting 5.5 in a conference game in January.
Right.
That's always the right side. Is take the value when the line moves your way.
And I like Michigan State. I like Michigan even better. But how long are they going to continue on this roll? They are 8-0 in the conference, and they've covered each game. I mean, to go 8-0 is one thing straight up, but to go 8-0 covering as well, that's pretty unique. And the other 2 games I have is St. Mary's comes in as a 1.5-point favorite over BYU in Provo, and I think BYU at home has a little bit of an edge here. They're not quite of the same stature they have been in the past, but neither is St. Mary's. The Gales have lost a few more games. Usually they just come in and run second to Gonzaga every year in the West Coast Conference, and now I don't even know if they're going to be there. But I took BYU, plus the points. And the final one is this UCLA team fires Steve Alford. They won 3 in a row. Now they've dropped 2 in a row, and they're 1.5-point favorites over Arizona State at home. And though Arizona State doesn't play well in Los Angeles, I took them here. I think they're a much better team, and I think the Bruins the last 2 years. Look what they've lost. I mean, they've lost. They fired their coach. They lost players in China because they were stealing sunglasses. Some of these guys transferred after, and some of these recruits never came back. So UCLA's in a bit of flux, and I'll play against them tonight.
So no, really, Jim, get back to that. They actually got off the team because they were stealing sunglasses?
Well, in China, that's why they got rid of Ball. I mean, now how inconspicuous can you be, 6'8" black man in China? I mean, they're stealing designer sunglasses. That's kind of foolish.
I mean, come on, man! Wow,
Lucky they got out.
Well, they had 3 recruits they had to get rid of, and that those guys would be playing now, and they're gone. So, they were hurt.
Wow. Great story. Okay, Brian, what about you? You got anything the listeners can make some dough on?
I'll just say, I know I've said this a lot, but I love that phenomenon in basketball. We fire the coach. That first game, it's the equivalent of giving a horse Lasix. The first time, it's phenomenal.
Right.
But the performance really tails off. You can't sustain the energy you get after firing the coach, and it's typical. You'll see after that initial burst of energy, it really does usually tail off. So,
yeah, they won 3 in a row, Brian, and then they dropped the last 2. So what you're saying is right.
Yep. Yeah. So I think we have some plays from Florida Rick.
Yeah, he said in some plays. Why don't you announce those, Brian? I got them too, but you got a. Oh, he just sent another one. Yeah, why don't you announce them all?
Okay, so he's got in the NBA, he's got Minnesota. Makes sense at the Lakers lane 1, and interesting. But actually, has the line moved against him? Looks like it has. Lakers are now a 1-point favorite, and he has he's got interesting game. He's got New Orleans at Oklahoma City without the unibrow. But that's an interesting play. Oklahoma City has looked good. I guess they won on Monday.
What's the number on that one, Brian?
It's 13. It's a big number.
Yeah.
13.
A lot of drama surrounding New Orleans. Will they or will they trade Davis? Oklahoma. Every one of these games is so critical for these teams because at the end of the year that there's going to be like 1 or 2 games separating 2 through 9. But it's interesting. Yeah, I guess that maybe he thinks that's too many points.
What do you think the problem is? I hate to kind of, but I can't. What is it? Why hasn't New Orleans been able to provide a supporting cast for Davis? I mean, he's one of the more dominant, great players in the NBA, and they've done nothing.
You know, I wonder if are they still a team without an owner? Are they still owned by the NBA?
I'm not even sure.
I think they might be. I think that there's still a lot of doubt as to whether that franchise even is in New Orleans in 2 years or 5 years. And I don't know. That's interesting. You'd think like the profile of an NBA player and living in New Orleans would be two compatible things. You think it would be a place guys would want to live, you know?
Well, no, but you know, I'm in Vegas, and just in case they don't want to be in New Orleans, remember Vegas right now is so hot and such a hot market that I feel like we're a market that like any professional team that wants to give it up, we'll buy them. We'll buy them. Vegas is going to buy up every professional team in the country.
I can't see them ever leaving New Orleans. That Smoothie King Arena, they do get great support. It's just that they're a 500 team, and they should be better.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been to games there. It's a nice arena for sure.
Yeah, I've been there too. It's great.
Yeah. Well,
what else do you have?
What are your thoughts on Vegas taking in a NBA team at some point? Frank's pretty adamant that the NBA is coming to Vegas in the near future. What do you think?
I didn't think it was viable because of the experience they had on All-Star Weekend and the problems that they had here. But listen, we're a major league city now. We've got hockey. Football's on its way. I think we're destined to get all major sports before it's over.
How about
don't forget the WNBA.
Oh yeah, we got the WNBA.
We have that. You can have it. But they don't always show up to play. You know, these are professional people. They get tired because of a road trip and they don't want to play, so they go and cry in the corner.
No, but remember now, Chip, we got the A's from the AAA.
We got AAA A's here.
So like the MLB is just right around the corner. Phoenix is chomping at the bit to come here. Everybody wants to come to Vegas.
My thoughts are, in order to have a baseball team, they would have to have a dome stadium here.
Or at least a retractable roof.
Yeah, and that's a lot of money, and that's a long way in the future, I think.
But one thing's for sure is if the World Series is ever played here, you won't be seeing nobody with the hoodies on and shaking.
What we should get,
it's 75 degrees in October and November.
What we should get is the national championship game for the NCAA. This is a neutral site. It'd be an absolutely perfect venue. I mean, we're going to have the stadium when they finish the Raiders place. So,
I think 100% it's coming, Chip, and I think UNLV is actually going to end up in the Big 12. Or possibly the Pac-12 at some point. I think that stadium and 2 million people is actually I think it's really attractive to the Big 12.
And they'll have a bowl game. They'll have a bowl game here without a doubt. I mean, they'll move one over. I mean, you're going to have the facilities.
Yeah. I think Vegas within the next 10 years. I've been here 55 years. Within the next 10 years, will be the sports per capita mega center of the world for professional sports.
It can be. Like I said, you can run the NCAA tournament and the Super Bowl here every year. It's a neutral site.
All right, guys, we got the music on. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. Fifth Street Sports.
By the way, they will not have a Super Bowl here.
How many of us have looked at our finances and screamed, how can we make this much and still have so much debt? It just creeps up on us, right? Unexpected repairs, replace the washer and dryer, medical bills, and the killer, those insane interest credit cards you had to use to pay for it. Here's a really smart move that could help you get on top of your finances. Get a fixed-rate personal loan at bestegg.com. The rates are great right now. Imagine finally being able to pay down those crazy high credit cards and bills and then bank the money you save each month. Consumers have rated Best Egg 4.8 out of 5 stars on Consumer Affairs because of the super easy online loan app that takes about a minute with no impact to your credit score. Upon approval, funds can be deposited in as little as 1 business day. Get your bills under control, bank what you save, and take control of your finances with a loan from bestegg.com. Visit bestegg.com/plan. bestegg.com/plan. bestegg.com/plan.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com. That's MYEVOZ.com to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Why does he call me a...
Hi, folks. Fifth Street Sports. We're back for the final segment over here. It's just a 3-minute segment. But, hey, let's not forget, Brian, I got a special message from Rick. He's also releasing in Washington plus 2.5 in NCAA. So Rick has New Orleans plus 13, Minnesota -1, Washington plus 2.5. But I was just talking to Chip, because this Las Vegas is getting so hot, and it's such a great city right now that why... remember the old saying? There used to be an old saying: if you can't go to the if you can't attend the Super Bowl, watch it in Vegas. That was the old saying. Either you go to the Super Bowl itself, or you go to Vegas. So why haven't we had a Super Bowl here, Chip?
Well, because the NFL is a close-knit group, and they take care of their owners. That's why we've had Super Bowls in Detroit and in Minnesota when the weather is abhorrent. We didn't have a Super Bowl in L.A. for over 15 years because there was no franchise there. The Super Bowl is a reward to the owners or to the advertisers. Putting in Detroit gives General Motors and everyone, all the motor companies, their little say in it. But now that we have a team here, we may be able to get a Super Bowl in Las Vegas, and I think it's destined to happen.
I know Brian. He always thinks that Vegas isn't like a really great town. But I'll bet you whatever you want that we get a Super Bowl before Tulsa. No, but I'll bet you that we get a Super Bowl before Tulsa. Okay.
That's for sure. I'll bet on that.
But Brian, seriously, how about when they had a Super Bowl in Detroit and Minnesota? What do you do in Minnesota? You go ice fishing on the other days. Over here, you go to Cirque du Soleil show. You go all over the Strip. There's tons of clubs. Sure. Come on. How about a Super Bowl in Detroit?
Just the Tulsa thought is absurd. But about 6 years ago, there was a city councilman in Tulsa that wanted to get Tulsa to bid for the Olympics. And they didn't do it, but they came close to doing it. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, they don't have the structure.
I think you got a better chance of seeing a 5-legged cat than getting that.
So. But, P.T. Barnum has one of those.
Yeah, P.T. Barnum. Hey, guys, Brian, thank you, buddy. Good show. Chip, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, we appreciate you. Fifth Street Sports. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Good luck tonight. We've got a lot of choices, and we'll see you tomorrow.